Hello again, YouTube. Welcome to another. Hello again, YouTube. Welcome to the Vape Academy. I'm your host, Vinnie, and today we have the Plume Veil Atomizer clone. Alright? It's an RDA. You gotta build your own coils, but all in all, I'm in love with this thing. If you're a flavor junkie, there's no doubt this thing should be in your arsenal. Alright? The flavor is there in spades. The vapor production, it's not lacking, but it's not like a Mephisto or something like that. There's not that much vapor, but all in all, I'm completely content with this. I think I paid like 35 bucks for it at a local brick and mortar. I know for a fact you can find it cheaper online for a clone, but again, I'm content with 35 bucks for this thing. The airflow is incredibly adjustable. There's 3 ways to adjust the airflow on it. When we get in close, I'll explain a bit more on that. But we're going to build it for you. We'll go over the airflow and all the details on the inside. And yeah, let's do that and we'll show you a little bit more.
Plume Veil clone. Yeah, as you can see, it's not really a clone, it's a direct knockoff. They have the full Plume Veil logo and Aethertech, which I'm not a fan of, but you know, it is what it is. China's not necessarily the most scrupulous of vendors. But it comes with a drip tip with the Plume Veil logo on it, which is kind of, or the Aethertech logo, I'm sorry, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so let's talk about airflow. Underneath your coils, you can actually see down back in here, there's a hole where it comes in. Now, you have 4 holes, which is kind of different from most of your RDAs, and the 2 in the middle are both a positive, so you got 2 positives, 2 negatives, and Delrin insulator down here, which is kind of neat. I haven't had any problems with it, and I've had this thing down to like a 0.15, so I haven't really had any major issues as far as that Delrin's concerned. Sometimes Delrin melts, but it's not really a big deal on this one. We'll pop our drip tip off. Now, your second level of airflow, you got these slots right here. Now, these slots correspond with the inside with these fins right in here. Now, pop that guy back on. Let's see if you can see this. When I spin it, you see that thing open up? Now, you can either go one side open, one side closed, both sides closed. Now that's one open, the other's open as well. Now I can spin, spin, spin. You got this one open, and then this guy's closed, so that's for a single coil. So single coil, dual coil setup, and then your third level of airflow, up here you got these. Now this black Delrin up here, you can spin it when you have a drip tip on there, it's much easier. But you see how that protrudes a little bit? Now that'll block off these airflow holes. But when that's lower, it's going to allow airflow to come in from the top. So basically this thing is a freaking hurricane inside there. You know, it's coming underneath, it's coming through the middle, and then you got it coming down from the top. So it basically swirls around. You get a ton of flavor out of it. And, you know, how this thing is angled in here, can you see that? That little cone shape helps a lot with flavor. You know, the magma's set up like that, which for me, that kind of helps a lot with flavor. You know, it kind of channels it into your mouth a little bit more, which it really does. It's not really a gimmick. It does help with flavor. So again, I'll pop this off, put the sleeve down, and then this is your third part. The O-rings on it aren't bad. You know, I haven't had to replace them, but, you know, O-rings are O-rings. They're not really good or bad. Sometimes they crack, but as long as you keep these things kind of lubed up, every now and then I'll put a little bit of juice and just run my finger along it. So I'll pop this Delrin out so you can see that. Like I said, just a nice Delrin piece right here. It does have some juice on it. Sorry about that. This thing gets used. I use this thing, shit, at least once a day. I really do enjoy this guy. But yeah, we're going to build it for you. We'll dig in, and we'll come back in a sec. Alright guys, so here we go. We got 2 pieces of Kanthal. I cut them both about 6 inches in length. Here's the other one. We're going to wrap them around a 2mm drill bit. Well, actually, I'm going to be using this this screwdriver. This thing's awesome. A lot of people actually use these. This little base is kick-ass for pressing your coil. So real simple. Press down on the end like this. Kind of line it up, bend it around, and then just start wrapping. 5 and 6. Easy enough, right? Now, I don't mind having a nice tail like this. It actually helps when you want to determine your lead size. You know, sometimes you want to go shorter, sometimes you want to go longer. So always cut a little bit of extra, give yourself a little leeway. And then what I'm doing here is basically you're going to straighten out both leads. Pull it nice and flat like that. And then I give it both sides a twist. And that'll kind of tighten everything out. It'll keep these both straight so they're going nice and even in the same direction. And now just kind of press. You know, press it into the base a little bit, and it'll get those closer. Now, those don't have to be perfect, because as you see, we're going to fire it, and then that'll get it even closer than where we're at now. But we're going to do the same thing on this one. And as you see, I like to pull that guy out, and then that kind of stretches everything close together. I did a bit better on that one. I was trying to watch through the camera on the first one, but as you can see, those guys are a little bit closer. So yeah, straighten out both your leads, do your little twist thing, and that'll get it even, and then press it in. I'm going to trim these leads up a little bit. I like to leave one a little bit longer than the other, so snip that bad boy, get rid of that. Leave it about the same for this one. Back these screws out of here. Alright, now the reason I leave these leads so long is because I like to angle everything out. And when I say angle it out, so when I put this guy in here, I want it to be about here, you know? So I'm going to take a set of pliers, and I'm going to figure out right in here is where I want to be. Alright, watch. Now I'm going to bend that out outside, so it kind of faces like that. And then do the same thing with this guy. Pinch inside and bend it out. And now when I go back, straighten those out, make it a little easier on you. Now when I go back in here, you see when I go here, it's a little bit closer. And then, alright, so hold your coil about where you want it, and then pinch near where the hole is. Right about there. And then take the coil and bend it in. So now you got this little L shape, and that'll keep the coil off the deck. When I go to slide it through, I'll probably be off because again I'm looking through the camera, but oh, look at that, almost spot on. Pop that in, take it off the edge, and now you see we're pretty spot on in there. Alright, so we're through our 2 holes. I'm going to tighten her down a little bit. Line this guy back up. Put your thumb on it. You can slide it over just a little bit. And there's one. Easy enough. And yeah, like I said, it gets ugly, but you can pinch. Now I'm going to take this side. I'm going to clip off my 2 leads. We'll throw our other guy through. And now I'm going to take a set of pliers. Go over here and kind of just pull it a little bit, and that way I'm not jacking up this coil as I'm trying to get my other one through. So yeah, 1 coil, 2 coil, and they're ugly right now, but watch. So there's our 2 coils, and like I said, they're kind of ugly right now, but we are going to pinch them. So take our pliers, and before I even fire it, I like to kind of tidy them up. Just bend them the way I want, get them close to on point. You want them to be relatively parallel with each other, so you kind of just drop it down like that. There's our 2 coils from the top. Alright, so I'm going to drop this on a mod and we'll fire it, and we'll show you how to adjust it once you're firing a little bit. Alright, now I threw this on my BEC Pro. We're going to come in here. It's going to sizzle a little bit, so get them glowing, and then take your finger off that because you don't want to shock yourself when you get pinching. So pinch, See how close they get once you fire it. This stuff gets a lot less springy. And yeah, I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it. You can see these things bending a little bit. You're not going to mess it up, so don't be afraid to put a little bit of pressure. And you see now they're a lot closer. This one's still a little bit cooler. There you go. What you're looking for is inside out. So when I say that, I mean inside here you want to heat up first, and then it's going to cool out that way. So when I hit it, see how that goes? And they're heating up right at about the same pace, which is perfect for what I'm looking for. Just pop that through the coil and pinch. And then kind of like wiggle it. And it'll get those guys much closer. You see that? And that's just about perfect. Alright, I'm going to back out and we'll wick it. Alright, so here to go. And the easiest way that I've found to do it is just screw it on your ohms meter. Grab your scissors. Got a nice piece of Japanese cotton here. That's basically exclusively what I use. I haven't really had much success with everything else. Cut yourself off maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 inch piece. You're going to want 2 strips. Pop that down, let those guys go, get rid of that one. I don't want to get those too far. Now, the easiest way to do it that I've found, you kind of just roll it in your finger to get this end nice and flat where you can get it through a coil. And now, you're just going to slide it on through your coil. That's going to be sitting on my screwdriver. I like to give both ends a little twist. And now what that's going to do is give the coil a little bit of airflow inside that cotton. Now we're going to spin it and do the same thing on the other side. And again, spin both sides. Get that nice and even. Once it slides through, you're good. Alright, so you got both sides. Now, as you can see, these are pretty much centered, the coils. So basically, I just go at the end and give it about a 1/4 inch past the end. Trim my 2 ends off. Same thing on the other side. Alright, so now I take a nice thin screwdriver. I'm just kind of going to weasel it under there. And then I'm just going to slide it underneath the coil. Now you don't want to over wick the build. So as you can see, just pop it down there. As long as it's touching the base, that's about all the cotton you're going to need. I don't like to wick too much because then it kind of gets stuck around there. So same thing, pop the wick on that other side. Pop this side down. And lay it out a little bit. Now, this is looking good. There's going to be some little straggler pieces. You're never going to get all of them, so don't even bother trying. So there you go. Everything, just make sure that it's inside the deck and remains there. I'm going to juice this up a little bit more. Drip a little bit on there. Don't over drip. You know, on this thing I have found that if you do over drip, it'll spit some juice at you, which is never a good taste, you know. We'll slide this guy off. Grab my mod. And she fires away, right? Easy enough. We're going to back out and I'll show you how it vapes.
Alright guys, 0.5 build on the Plume Veil. I got it on the BEC, it's set at 45 watts. I do have the Delrin widebore top cap. I picked it up a couple weeks ago. I think I paid $10 for it online. So yeah, the vapor production's there. The flavor is out of this world. It does whistle a little bit too. I'm sure you can hear it, but it's not really a big deal. I don't mind the whistle. This Plume Veil, for what I paid for it, is killer. The flavor's there. It makes a nice cloud. Like I said, it's not a Mephisto. It's not supposed to compete with that, but it's killer. I love the flavor on it, and it looks good too. I mean, if you have like a Tree of Life, it looks really good on. It looks good on a Nemesis. Anything that's like a straight tube style stainless steel looks fucking killer on. Keep checking us out. Like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.